That's the same price. Actually, it's less because it's 20% off right now. So I'll just do that instead. Fuck it, These people.
Fuck it.
Why are they ruining things that I like?
Doing it live.
Man, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a real bummer.
Yeah. You know what's not a butter? A butter?
A butter. What isn't? No, it's not. I can't believe it's not butter.
What's not a butter?
What's not a butter?
Well, this isn't. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Pixel It. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, is Phil. And today we got a brand new series for you. We're talking Halo First Strike by Eric Nylund, who also wrote Fall of Reach, correct? That's the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Back, getting Mr. Nylund back.
So...
started us off with this series.
Yeah, Phil, can you remind us who the heck Eric Nylund is?
Eric Nylund is a novelist. He was the guy, as I said, who started the Halo series. He's written a bunch of them, not recently, but he is one of our great writers for hire. Let's get into it. Actually, here's something that's interesting. He actually went to school for chemistry. He has a Master of Science in Chemical Physics, which honestly kind of makes sense. Yeah, makes some sense. He's written for some graphic novels. He's done a lot of Halo stuff, mostly Halo stuff. But actually, he's also the author of Crimson Skies, which I would love for us to get around to eventually because I loved that game. But he's done some original stuff, but mostly what he seems to be known for is the Halo series. He started in 2001 and wrote for them right up until 2009. And he doesn't have any. The most recent thing he has is a series, the Hero of Thera series, that started in 2017, and the last one came out in 2019. So I'm guessing that's his latest baby.
Yeah. So, and Halo as a game, I mean, it's Halo. This is actually our fourth Halo book that we're covering. Fourth. I mean, that's definitely the most of any series.
That's the most of any
series. We're picking up our third Resident Evil book at some point. But yeah, this is the fourth Halo book, and it's...
I mean, they've always been so consistent. It makes sense.
They've been consistent, and there's a million of them. There's a lot of Halo books. So,
absolutely.
I mean, we could just do a podcast on Halo books, and we probably would run for quite a while. So I think we're in pretty good shape. This takes place in between Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2. And is actually set right after there's a couple sections to the book. The first section, or Section 0 and Section 1. We'll talk about Section 0 and Section 1 tonight. Section 0 happens during the Fall of Reach, and Section 1 is happening after the events, almost immediately after the events of Halo Combat Evolved. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it.
Let's do it.
So Section 0, Chapter 1. This is actually kind of interesting because it's a retelling of the later chapters of the Fall of Reach, except from the point of view of one of the other Spartans, Fred, who's one of the team leaders on the Spartan squad. So as a reminder, the Spartans, when Reach was attacked, they were off on a mission. They were about to leave on a mission to go take a Covenant ship, take it into Covenant space, and then capture a Covenant leader and bargain a peace with the Covenant for that Covenant leader's life. They got interrupted by the attack on Reach, so they got to turn around, and they split up. There's three of them go off onto the to get to one of the UNSC ships that had the location of Earth on it, and it was in dry dock, so they had to destroy it before the Covenant got it. So Master Chief and two others go and do that. The rest of them go down to Reach to try to help out and stop the ground invasion. So Fred is leading that team, Team Red. And the Pelican, they get on a Pelican, they're taking it down to reach, and oh boy, is it blown up. And the Spartans have to jump out of it while it's in the air. And at one point, Fred is like, this is like parasailing, except there's no parachute. And it's like, it's just falling.
No, yeah. They if you're not paying attention during this scene, you might completely miss the fact that they just jumped out of the goddamn ship. Like there's no plan really. Just
there's no plan. The ship's going down. It's blowing up. They got to go. Yep. So they go. And that's chapter 1 and into chapter 2. Fred is like, hey, aim for the trees. They'll break your landing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we're dealing with super soldiers here, but this does get a little. What was that movie? The Other Guys, the ones where have you seen that with Marky Mark and Will Ferrell? Yeah, it's very The Rock and Samuel Jackson, like just jumping off a building and just no explanation until they splatter on the concrete. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yep. Yep. So they do that, and it's a 2,000-foot drop from the Pelican to the ground, which is, the Pelican was closer to the ground than you thought it was. It's not like they were in the stratosphere still. They were most of the way down. It's only 2,000 feet, which
just 2,000
is like
it's not even a mile. Just
look up the Burj Khalifa tower and imagine jumping off the top of that.
No sweat.
I
think we could all do that.
I think we could handle that.
Mjolnir or not. It's a simple enough thing.
Or as the guy in the audiobook says, Mjolnir.
The return of Mjolnir.
He's back.
Oh, he's back, baby. That's what we need. That's actual merch that we need to make, where it's a sticker that's just the phonetic pronunciation. Mjolnir. We absolutely need that. We absolutely need that.
So they land, and the Spartans are scattered. A lot of them have lost their guns, as that happens when you drop out for 2,000 feet, and sure. They come upon a group of Marines that were just involved in a skirmish between the Covenant and the UNSC, and it's 4 Marines, and they're like the only ones left out of the ground force.
Yeah. They are it.
They are it. They're like, what company are you with? And he's like, company, sir. There is no company.
There's no company schmumpany. And even having come from Kelly Gay's recent Vietnam fest of Halo, that's pretty goddamn bleak. Like, it's like, oh boy. Oh man.
Oh no.
This ain't great.
Yeah, it ain't great. So we're in chapter 3 now. And it seems like there's a lot of mismanagement going on, because basically the Marines weren't killed by the Covenant. They were killed by airstrikes.
They just got bombed to shit and back.
Ordered by their own side.
The hell, man. Yeah.
And Fred finds out that there's this naval admiral who has, zero experience commanding a ground defense, is responsible for ordering these things. And the reason why he did that is because he wanted him and his team evacuated above everything else. So no securing any defensive positions. Nope, just get the admiral out.
Just get us the hell out. And it's so polite, it's so diplomatic, where they're like, I'm sure he's a really good admirable. He's an admirable admiral.
He's an admirable.
But probably doesn't need to be leading ground troops. Let's just say
he's probably not an admirable.
Probably not. Yeah. They give him more credit than maybe he deserves.
Yeah. So Fred's like, all right, I got 17 of my 22 guys left.
This is going to go great.
So five died in the impact.
Which, you know what? And he gives himself shit for it. And I'm like, dude, you literally dropped half a mile from the atmosphere. Not bad. I'm going to just go ahead and say not bad.
Not bad. You got a lot of, that's a pretty good survival rating right there on falling.
Yeah, that is
falling off the top of the Burj Khalifa. I got to check.
Probably better than you deserve, to be completely honest.
I'm double checking to see. Burj Khalifa is, how tall is that? It's even, okay. The Burj Khalifa is taller than that. It is 2,717 feet tall.
Okay. So it's not even that. It's not even that.
It's 2/3 up the Burj Khalifa. I mean, if Tom Cruise can do it, a Spartan can do it.
Exactly. If Scientology can defend him, then Mjolnir armor can defend everybody else.
The power of Xenu. That's their god, right?
It's one of the dudes.
It's one of the names.
Yeah. Don't sue us.
Don't sue us, please.
We don't have anything to offer you.
We have nothing to give you.
Yeah. Nothing.
So he splits up his groups. The group of the Spartans that are critically injured, they stay there. He's like, just stay here and hold this spot. And they're like, they all have broken legs. And they're like, got it, sir.
Thank you. Sounds like a plan, sir.
One group goes to extract the admiral. The other is going to go guard the generators. And then the main team of Fred, Kelly, and another dude, they're going to go try to kill everything else.
Yes. Yes.
And the chapter ends with Fred and company stealing some banshees.
Yeah.
So, chapter 4, those 3 Spartans take the Banshees and make a Death Star trench run on the Covenant outpost.
They absolutely do. There's no other way of putting it.
They take out as many as they can. Josh, who was the other Spartan, he got killed right away. He was the Porkins of the group.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm blind out there. Yeah.
Fred and Kelly land in the woods, and Fred estimates that they killed around 10,000 Covenant soldiers with that strafing run.
Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Yeah, 10,000. Fuck it. Like, what doesn't matter?
Just add another 0? I would believe it.
Fine. 100,000. I don't care. It's going to make about as much difference in the end. It doesn't matter.
And then they look up at the sky and they're like, shit. The Covenant is now starting the plasma bombardment to glass the planet.
Yeah.
End of section 0.
Yeah. That's our flashback. That's our prologue.
Section 1 is called Threshold, and it starts with chapter 5, and Master Chief is sitting awkwardly in the pilot seat of a long sword. And it's like, Eric Nylund writes, make sure to note that he doesn't fit properly. So I just imagine him just like jammed
awkwardly,
in this pilot seat.
The armor's too big. It's built for somebody who's like a normal size person.
He's nearly 7 feet tall, and then he has this big bulky armor on it.
It's built for somebody who's not in like small tank armor. You've heard of plate armor.
Yeah.
You've heard of chain armor, leather armor. This is tank armor is basically what he's wearing.
Are you making fun of my automobile?
Steps out. God, I haven't thought of that one forever.
So they're flying around. He's scanning. He's talking to Cortana, and then Cortana picks up on a signal. And what follows are several pages of, I'm just going to call it Spartan magic.
Yeah. We're familiar with this. We've seen it before.
So basically, he sees that there's cryopods out floating in space, and he opens the cockpit of the longsword, and he tethers himself to the seat, and Cortana's flying the longsword while he's free floating in space, just tethered to it via rope, and he's grabbing the cryo tubes and tethering them to himself, and then to the longsword.
It's the most. Here's the thing. This is the 4th book of this entire series that we've read, and this is the most video game scene in any of the books. You could see it. You're like, okay, X to attach tube, X to attach tube. And you're just like, yeah, fine. Fuck it. Yeah, we got it.
What's up, buddy? Why are you growling?
Uh-oh.
There's a dog barking outside. He's not happy about it.
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it, buddy?
You going to start some shit? Well, he's a pretty fierce warrior. You can tell just by looking at him. Oh, man, I can't believe it. Kevin's going to let this little dog, he's let it out. It's going to war, all with Kevin's yes. That dog doesn't know. It's just gone out into the mean streets. You just released it.
Yeah. Oh, I hear him. He's out there now.
That poor dog out there has no idea what kind of hell is coming with him.
Yeah.
That is going to get nasty.
There's just going to be dog barking in the background for a bit now.
You're really going to piss off your HOA, man. This is just.
They talked to us once about it. They're like, your dog is too loud. And I was like, he's like, he runs around in the backyard and he barks at everybody. And I'm like, he's
dog.
He's a dog and he's a tough guy. And we're like, you don't want to be barked at? Don't walk by my backyard. What do you want me to do?
HOAs are like 35% of why me and my wife want to live out in the woods.
Yeah.
We've never dealt with one ourselves, but we have enough friends and family who have that we're like, no, thank you. Just skipping straight over that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like having it's like you save up and you get the money and you buy your house. And then you're like, okay, well, you still have it's like you still have a landlord, sorta.
Yeah. It's like you spent all that time saving up money to move out of your parents' basement, and you just got a new parent who's going to nag you to death. It's real bad.
It's like, you need to clean your driveway, and be like, thanks.
I'm not going to do that. I was going to.
Thanks.
I literally remember one of our landlords, like, we got COVID.
Yeah.
Me and Emily were both sick with COVID, and my landlord sent us a message. It was like, are you guys going to mow the lawn anytime soon? And I was feeling better, and I literally had told myself I'm going to mow the lawn today. Yeah. And instead I wrote back, sorry, we have COVID. And I let the grass grow another week. Out of pure spite. I was planning on doing this thing. And we lost focus on you.
Yeah.
When we lose focus on the plot, we lose focus in real life. It's like dying in a dream.
What if I leave and then come back? That works.
That worked. Yeah. Yeah, that did the job. Okay. Yeah. You shocked the camera into working.
Yeah. I had a beverage somewhere, but we're off to a great start tonight. Anyway.
This is good. This is real good shit. This is what the people came here for. Halo First Strike, motherfucker.
This is all staying in.
Good.
It's all in. It's all staying in.
You're going to love this.
You're going to love great. every inch of this podcast.
You're going to take every inch of this podcast.
So Spartan Magic, they also, there's like a pelican nearby that's doing the Han Solo trick on a piece of rock. Then when I say the Han Solo trick, if you don't know what I mean, it's when the Millennium Falcon parked on the back of the Star Destroyer, and they couldn't see it. It was like, and that's
I misunderstood. I thought you meant getting murdered by your kid.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I guess.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Anyway, there's some Covenant fighters that try to blow up the longsword, which would have been bad for Master Chief, but it's the Pelican revs up and is able to chase them off. And then the Pelican and the longsword start doing some shenanigans by lining up the Covenant. So there's these Covenant cruisers out there, and there's a Covenant flagship, and they're kind of like in two different battle groups, and they fly in between them so that they can get the Covenant cruisers to stop firing at them, because once they're in between, the Covenant cruisers are like, well, we can't shoot at the flagship in the direction of the flagship. So they stop. And then Master Chief docks with the Pelican, opens up, and there is Sergeant Avery Johnson, ready to go. He is he's a mean mother, and he died in Halo, but he's alive.
He's here.
He's here.
Yeah. It's basically the same explanation I've seen used for how Boba Fett didn't actually die in Return of the Jedi. They just didn't like the taste of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, look, they've got to come back to this, right? Like in this section, they don't. But if Nylund like leaves it at that, and there's no weird reveal or something like that as to what really happened or something, I'm going to actually be quite pissed off, because that's just some serious shenanigans right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Avery Johnson, he was modeled after one of the dudes in Aliens. Characters.
Was it the drill sergeant? Because I always thought of the master sergeant or whatever.
Sergeant Apone is who Avery Johnson is modeled after.
That's the one. I always imagined him when I was thinking of. Oh, that's great. That's perfect, because that's absolutely what I imagined.
Exactly.
So, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah, or also it was like somewhere between there and Carl Weathers in Predator.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah. So they Master Chief docks. He meets up with Sergeant Johnson. There's some like tense moments because Master Chief is like, "You were dead," and then it's like, "Nah, it's all cool." And then they do the Arnold. Carl Weathers like handshake and
you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
They got you pushing too many pencils. We could go on like this. We can just keep
doing it.
It's not just the Departed people.
It's just
we got other.
No,
we got
and
other
you know what? I
just
got to get an audio file to play it, because I forgot to say that we're putting the body in the mosh.
And we put the body in the mosh.
The body's going in the mosh right now. So
we really should include just that clip.
Put the body in the mash.
Put the body in the mash.
So, okay. Anyway, I heard.
What was that?
I heard footsteps, and I was predicting a Camilla open of the door that didn't, and it just didn't happen.
It's fair. I mean, that's for those of you who are only listening, who have not got the visuals. Kevin just like looked paranoid over his shoulder and then turned back immediately, grumbling. Okay. Okay. I don't feel good. I don't like this.
It's fucking Babadook or something. I don't know.
Yeah, this is some bullshit. I don't believe
There's some bullshit.
No.
Is it Malignant back there? What am I?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want to deal with this.
Samara from The Ring. She's back there. She's just like hanging out, waiting for me to look. I'm not going to look at her. You know, that's how the 7 days happens.
Just let it happen. If it's going to happen, let it happen. You don't need to see that shit.
Did you know? Tangent. Did you know that those movies are based on a book? And that Ringu, the Japanese movie, is based on a book. And what I didn't realize is that the Gore Verbinski movie, The Ring, a lot of people assumed was a remake of Ringu. Was actually a readaptation of the original novel and is apparently closer to the novel than the Japanese version of the movie.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was.
Watch that movie again.
I think it was Pim. Pim told me.
Well, I trust Pim's.
Pim. They are opinion. Good. They know their horror stuff, so I'm gonna I'm gonna let them. You know,
they're an authority I can get behind. Yeah, that's. I'm a horror guy, and I'm still in a guy. Oh, Pim said, okay, well then, yeah.
That's fine. Where were we? Okay, chapter 6. Master Chief Cortana and Johnson talk about how unlikely it is that he was uninfected. Yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? That's essentially what they leave it at. Yes. Yeah. For all intents and purposes.
What are you going to do? On the Pelican.
What are you going to do?
So aside from Johnson on the Pelican is an ODST named Locklear, who seems like an asshole, but what ODST hasn't seemed like an asshole yet?
I think that is kind of standard.
Haverson, who is a lieutenant with the ONI, and Petty Warrant Officer Pulaski, who is the pilot. And
or as I like to put it, we've assembled our D&D party. We've got intelligence. We've got the grunt. We've got a pilot. This is just Shadowrun. We've got a rigger. We've got, the face.
The slicer. Is that a Shadowrun thing? Or
a Decker.
A Decker. There we go.
Just,
it's called a Decker in Shadowrun.
The street samurai. We've got everybody present and accounted for. Roll your D20. And everyone's got their little specialty. Let's get on with it. I want to play an intelligence officer, but it doesn't make sense that he'd be out. No, it's fine. Just put it in. I don't care. It's fine. Put it in. We'll make it work.
I don't care.
We'll come up with an explanation later.
And then one of them says, "But I want to play vampire instead." And we're like,
right.
And then somebody else says, "Well, I want to play a game where you fucking do something. How about that?"
How about that?
Drinking wine.
No. God damn it! I just hate that you're right.
Well, the only thing I really know about vampire is from what you've told me and what the 2 episodes of Oops All Monsters went off about on vampire a couple weeks ago. So I think if you haven't listened,
vampire has the potential to absolutely do that if you basically just kind of sit and play with your dick if you've got too indulgent of a storyteller. Yes, absolutely. It's like, I want to be a sexy vampire. Well, I want to be a sexy vampire. I want to be all right, fine. Everyone's dressed as the Crow. Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
Everyone's sexy vampires.
Sexy vampires.
I do appreciate that the companion thing that you wrote for Vampire the Masquerade and is still for sale on Drive-Thru-RPG.
Please buy Clan Book Matango.
I appreciate that the Matango are pretty grotesque looking.
I really like gross vampires better than I got over my I want to be a sexy vampire phase when I was 16 or 17 and I've wanted to play gross and scary monsters ever since. So I think it's the right way.
It's the right way. This is the way.
Right way.
Yeah.
Halo?
Halo. Oh, yes. We're talking about Halo. We're back.
We're back.
Okay. So Master Chief lays out a plan. All right. They're going to take the flagship by arming the Pelican with mines and piloting the longsword into it, while Cortana jumps aboard the flagship and hacks its forward weapons and shields. And the reason they need to do this is because the Pelican nor the longsword have a slip space engine. So
yes,
they literally cannot go anywhere.
They can't head back to Earth. They can't do anything. Yeah, they're just stuck.
So they load up the Pelican with the mines. They all cram aboard the longsword. And the entire time, Sergeant Johnson plays heavy metal music.
Yes. Got a real kick out of that. They try to dress it up like it's something else. Like it's like they basically say it's a precursor to that, and people still complain as if it's like classical music or something. But
right.
we know that this is when Dragula is playing in the background or something. So
Sergeant Johnson, big time Rob Zombie fan.
Absolutely. We all know what scene this is.
Yeah. So they do it. They maneuver around. The fighters, the Covenant fighters go after the Pelican instead of them, and they crash land right into the Covenant ship. And the chapter ends with, that was the easy part.
Right. Pretty much.
Chapter 7, Cortana gets a readout of the ship. The personnel is actually pretty light, and it's mostly engineers. with a company of grunts and only 100 elites. When they get on board, Master Chief has issues with the way Locklear just kind of kills some of the engineers without actually. He just like kills them, and they
kind of make them cute. In a way.
The engineers are the floaty tentacle cloud dudes, right?
Yeah.
With a little telekinesis, I think. And he just like he just like shoots them, and Master Chief's like, don't do it. Come on, man.
Don't do that.
They don't carry. They can't do anything to you.
Yeah. They're not doing anything. Yeah, just don't. He basically just don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
They remind me a little bit of the in Mass Effect on the the big station, the Citadel. There was those little weird like engineer dudes. They're like little green praying mantis looking dudes that were just like, please don't disturb them. We don't know what they do, but they keep the Citadel running.
Right, exactly. I love that. It's like, we don't know what they do, but they're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool, and they just kind of fix everything on the Citadel. So leave them alone.
Don't ask questions. Just
let them do it.
You're probably right. Yeah, just let them do it.
So they're fighting through the corridors. Sergeant Johnson's really enjoying himself. Says this is an old-fashioned turkey shoot. Cortana gets inserted into the ship's computers to start working on various things, and she knows Covenant systems are very different, and that makes sense. She begins making electronic ghosts of Master Chief in the group, so that the elites are thrown off from the right path. And then Cortana has a battle of her own inside the computer system, dealing with the other AI. And at one point, while she's dealing with the other AI, she vents oxygen from a certain part of the ship and suffocates a bunch of elites.
Right. Just one more massacre. Fuck it.
You know?
It's pretty brutal. She just kills this group full of people. I mean, I know it's Covenant and everything, but goddamn.
Yeah. Goddamn Cortana. So as they continue and fighting their way through the ship, Cortana figures out that they need to keep the engineers alive because they're the only ones who know how to do it. Meaning fix the ship.
Fix the ship. Yeah. Do the ship. They're good at doing the ship. Let's just leave it at that.
Debbie does the flagship.
Does the flight. Yeah. Does the
flagship.
The flagship.
Dallas.
Dallas. Dallas from Alien.
Dallas from Alien. Captain Dallas. Tom Skerritt, man. Anyway, an elite in black armor. And from what we understand, I think the black armored elites are supposed to be like really high up there on the high muckety mucks.
Extra big nasty.
Extra big nasty. They show up with this shows up with an energy blade and starts attacking. And Chapter 8 begins with Master Chief fighting the elite in hand-to-hand combat. And Haverson and Pulaski are trying to shoot it, and they can't. And Haverson gets sliced in the chest with the energy blade. And you're like, oh, is this the rap on Haverson? It's not.
No.
The other Covenant ships realize what's going on and just begin firing on the flagship. The elite is getting the better of Master Chief. And Johnson and Locklear begin unloading into it. And while the elite is like sawing through the Mjolnir armor.
Yeah, the Mjolnir.
But yeah, Master Chief's not in good shape. The shield is broken, the armor's getting cut. He's starting to bleed, and nobody makes Master Chief bleed his own blood.
Nope.
One of the shots gets through, and Master Chief uses this to push the elite off of him and into an escape pod and launches him off the bridge.
Yeah. He alien queens the little motherfucker. It's
nice.
Pretty great.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Haverson is still alive. He's in a lot of pain, but he's alive. Cortana tries to help the gang disable the holds on the nav computer, but it was a trap planted by the enemy AI that tricks them into disabling the slip space drive.
Yes, which is interesting because they make a point of saying that they assumed well, they believe that the Covenant had no AI, that was not something that they had created.
But they do. It's just very weird and not. It's not like the UNSC's AI, which is very much created to be like a person,
Yeah.
The Covenant AI just is a bit more alien.
Well, and it seems to follow rules that are less based in logic and more based in the weird religious commune that makes up the Covenant. So
right.
It's interesting. It's a really interesting way of looking at it. The idea of an AI being somewhat illogical.
Right.
But following their own rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that happens. And then Master Chief grabs one of the engineers and is like, all right, Cortana, translate, tell him to fix the engine. And the engineer is like, yeah. And Master Chief's like, oh. And the engineer goes, yeah, hurry this way. And Master Chief's like, okay.
I love it because they basically say like, he tells Cortana to tell him hey, I need you to follow me in here so we can fix the ship. And Cortana translates the alien basically saying, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. All right. Somebody's okay. Great. Yeah. It's pretty cool because it shows the engineers don't really have a dog in the fight. The only dog in the fight is the ship itself.
Yeah. The only thing they care about is doing their job, which is they like repairing things.
Yeah. That's just what they're there for.
That's what they're there for. That's what they do. So meanwhile, Cortana is working on the shields and plasma cannons and is furious over what the Covenant AI did to trick her. And she's also taking evasive maneuvers with the flagship around the planet threshold. She's trying to do a slingshot maneuver. And she gets snippy when Pulaski's like, you're a little tight to the planet. You might want to pull up. And Cortana's like, I know how to fly, lady.
I beg your pardon.
And then there's a concussion blast that pushes them too close to the planet and makes it so they can't have an exit vector out of the gravity of the planet. Pulaski was right. You maybe listen to the pilot, Cortana.
We know that you can do everything, Cortana. We know you're min-max to shitting back, but maybe listen to the pilot.
Yeah,
that's crazy enough idea to work.
Yeah. Oh, the consequences of my own actions.
Exactly.
Cortana was recorded as saying.
Yeah, this is where Cortana starts getting into, she was kind of sassy before, but now she's actually getting into kind of you're kind of being a jerk.
Yeah.
Cortana.
Well, that's one of the things that Master Chief notes is Cortana's been a little weird since she got out of the Forerunner computer.
Right. Huh. And we skipped ahead a little bit in these books, and he's not wrong to notice that.
He's not wrong to notice that. Things get weirder in the future. Master Chief is hanging out with the engineer, and he just thinks it's so neat that the engineers don't have enemies. They just want to do their jobs.
Yeah. They are precious. They are downright adorable.
They're precious. They're little pink blobby clouds. They're they're more or less floating jellyfish, kind of, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pull up the picture.
Let's confirm that. Engineers.
Yeah, they're a little more horrifying than maybe
maybe more horrifying than I'm giving them credit for, but
but cute.
Cute in a way.
In their own way. Yeah, in their own way.
Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah, kind of.
It's
look, okay, I found some chibi pictures of. Now that's adorable.
Oh, chibi Halo engineer.
That'll help.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So much better.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a Pokemon that looks like Halo. Oh, somebody Halo Comet Evolve. What's this? Oh yeah,
the
Hiroshock and Tentashock. Is that a real thing, or is this just some deviant?
I think this is fan art.
Oh,
looks good though.
Looks neat. Anyway.
All right, we went off on a tangent a little bit there, but it was Halo related.
Halo related.
I want full credit for that.
So they fight their way through, and you'll get that credit. They fight their way. Master Chief and his good buddy, the engineer. They fight their way through some grunts. The engineer picks up a gun for him and fixes it and gives it to him.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. I feel like the engineers aren't actually a fan of the Covenant. It's just they're so like passive that they're like, oh, okay, we'll work on your ship, I guess.
Probably. I mean, you got to figure most of the people who are part of the Covenant are not really volunteering to be a part of this. You get the impression it was a join or die kind of situation.
Right.
So,
yeah. So, all right. Master Chief. Okay, so the engineer restores the power to the slip space generator, but Cortana replies that it's too late because we're going to die. Chapter 9. Cortana weighs whether it's worth trying to make a slip space jump while in Threshold's atmosphere. But then she actually starts looking into the Covenant slip space engines and realizing, wait a minute, I might actually be able to do this. These are really precise. So basically the UNSC slip space engine works by just brute force tearing a hole in this fabric of time and space.
Yes. I loved this detail. I thought this was great. The difference between the technology.
And the Covenant, it's like, it just like opens a pinhole the size needed just in space time, and the ship goes through it. And I was like, that's interesting.
That's really interesting.
And with how specific and precise it is, you could possibly jump from the atmosphere of one planet to the atmosphere of another planet. And you don't need as much room for error, basically. And she's like, well, why doesn't the Covenant do this? And at the time that she's plotting it, one of the Covenant AIs yells heresy at her for trying to do that, which I thought was a neat detail. Like, what? Why would it be heresy to jump into the atmosphere of another planet?
Right. It's so weird, and it's like I was talking about before, where it's just like it's not logical necessarily, and that's pretty neat. Actually, that's really interesting.
The AI is
something you don't see often.
The AI is religious, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, that's not something I've heard a lot about in games, in sci-fi in the past. It's really neat.
So the Master Chief leaves the one engineer to his own devices because it starts like just repairing other things in the engine room. He comes back. Another engineer is helping Pulaski fix the door control panels. And then he comes onto the bridge, and a third engineer begins repairing Master Chief's shield generator on his suit.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
It's kind of neat. Chief and Haverson.
You want to keep him around.
Yeah. Chief and Haverson have a disagreement about what to do next. Master Chief says he has tactical command, and Haverson acknowledges that Master Chief has tactical command because he's ONI, and he knows that Master Chief's on a mission that kind of takes priority over basically everybody. And that was capture a Covenant ship, get to Covenant space, do the thing. And Chief's like, I gotta do my mission still. And the rest of his party is like, come on, man, we're all like level 1 and you're level 20 and we're all tired. Like this isn't happening with your current because Chief's like, well, I got the Covenant ship.
Right. And they're like, yes, but a lot of other stuff has shifted, so maybe we could shift this.
Maybe the UNSC doesn't really have a navy right now, so maybe we want to slow your roll a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm
with them on that.
I was with Haverson's plan was like, let's take this ship back to Earth and reverse engineer the slip space engine and the cannons and all the stuff that they have up on us. And Cortana's chimes in and is like, yeah, actually, I agree with that guy, Johnny boy.
Johnny old boy, old pal.
But then Cortana's like, but we can't take it back to Earth. Because there's a subsection of the Cole Protocol that states that if you have captured a Covenant ship, you're not allowed to take it back to Earth until you can 100% guarantee there is no tracking devices on the ship. Yeah. So they are like, well, what do we do? And Master Chief's like, what do we take it to Reach? Then everyone's like, okay, weird pull, but sure.
Yeah, all right. There is a level of like that John Mulaney joke about just like okay, I'll allow it, but I'm keeping my eye on you. so random.
So and Master Chief's like, well, either the Covenant glassed it and moved on and there's no one there, or the Covenant are still there, but they won't fire on us because we're in a Covenant ship and then we could just leave.
Right.
And they're like, well, fine. So Johnson calls in over the comm and says, holy shit, one of the cryo tubes has a Spartan in it. Get down here, Master Chief. And Master Chief leaves. Chapter 10, real short one. Haverson murders the shit out of the engineer that fixed Master Chief's shields.
And here's the thing. It's tough because his reasoning ends up being sound, but I still don't like him.
I don't like him either. I mean, the way it was described, like he holds the gun up at the engineer and the engineer like picks up his like little tentacles and starts like prodding at the gun. And then he shoots it in the fucking face.
It's extra cruel. And then he's like, hey, listen, that engineer just helped repair Mjolnir armor here. And if he gets back to the Covenant, we have no reason to believe that he doesn't have secrets that he's taken from repairing you. So we had to do it. Yeah. And you're like,
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like it's very much a The Big Lebowski. Yeah. Like, no, Donnie, you're just an asshole.
Right. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, that wasn't Donnie. That was
Walter.
Walter. No, Walter, you're just an asshole.
No, Walter, you're just. Am I wrong?
Am I wrong?
Wrong? Okay.
No, I'm staying. I'm finishing my coffee.
Finishing my coffee. Yeah. So he finishes his coffee and it kills the engineer.
Yeah. And Cortana was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Yeah. Your AI is like, that's a little fucked up.
And then he also talks to Cortana. He's like, oh, by the way, I know he really just wants to go to Reach and to search for the other Spartans.
Yeah.
So now we're in chapter 11, which takes us away from the action. Bold move. Real brief. It's a chapter featuring the UNSC High Command. They're talking to Lieutenant Wagner, who authored the report about what happened to Reach. And on the High Command is Ackerson, who I believe is in the Fall of Reach book. He's like the scientist who is he's like the counterpoint to Halsey. He like works on other shit. Like there's Halsey's Spartan program, and Ackerman is doing other shady science stuff. Anyway, Ackerson is a real piece of shit. And at one point says he's glad the Spartans and those freaks are gone. And one of the other generals was like, listen here, you piece of shit. They saved my life so many times. They've killed more Covenant than three ODST regiments combined. Like, you're gonna talk about them with respect.
Yeah, God damn it, you're gonna respect them.
You're gonna respect them. But the High Command's like, but there's no reason to go back to Reach.
Much.
Even though they talk about the way the Covenant glassed the planet was not, according to the report, it might not have been as thorough as the way they glassed other planets because they didn't have because most of the fleet chased after the Pillar of Autumn, and that there was only a few left to do the glassing, and they started at the poles. So perhaps in the middle of the planet, there was some safety zones.
Ah, how very convenient.
How convenient for the Spartans.
Well.
And something interesting to note that I picked up in that chapter was that the people that live in the inner colonies and Earth have no idea, like the civilians have no idea how close the UNSC is to losing the war.
Yeah. Which, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah, let's
keep that morale up.
Yeah, we don't have Tucker Carlson talking about how, I don't know, the government seems closer to our Christian forefathers than the demo rats.
He would do that.
He would. He absolutely would. Yes.
Piece of shit. That's it. That's the first part of that's the end of section 1. So we covered section 0 and section 1. And that is a little over, that's almost a third of the book ish.
Yeah, we're about a third of the way through.
Phil, what do you think so far?
It's good. The Halo books are nothing if not consistent. Consistently solid, good military sci-fi. Nylund is a really solid writer. I'm concerned about some of this retconning that seems to be going on with no, the flood didn't kill me. Oh, and there are parts of Reach that are fine. It's like
okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see what you do. Let's see how it goes.
You know, we're fine.
So,
and Fall of Reach.
I'm optimistic.
When was Fall of Reach published?
When was Fall of Reach published? That was it 2000?
2001, October 30th, 2001.
Yeah, and this was 2003, if I'm remembering correctly.
And it was okay. So the Fall of Reach came out the month before Halo Combat Evolved came out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it seems like, all right, we released Fall of Reach, we released Halo Combat Evolved. Halo Combat Evolved is huge. It's going to keep going.
Yeah.
We gotta like some of the characters that like. Okay, by the way, no, Master Chief wasn't the only survivor of Halo, clearly.
Right.
Because of the people that he meets on the Pelican afterwards, Avery Johnson and company. So clearly other people got off Halo. Yeah. It wasn't a one man. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. All right. I don't like retconning, but it is.
But Nylund's a good writer, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now.
Well, yeah, and it was probably, and I guarantee it's not his call.
Well, that's a fair point. No, you're right.
It's like, by the way, these characters and they have to be alive.
Yeah, that's that's a good point. We're dealing with a lot of right for hire stuff here. We got to remember that. That's totally fair. Yeah.
Because he wrote the first one. Our friend of the show, what's his name? Who wrote
Dietz?
William Bill Dietz. Bill Dietz wrote number 2, which was The Flood, and and Eric Nylund wrote number 3, First Strike. So yeah, Dietz had obviously wrote some details in there, almost entirely from the game, but it was very clear in the game and in the book that no one else survived.
Right. It's and if some Marines survived or some Spartans survived, why not Yap?
Why not Yap?
Yap lives!
Yap lives! All right, so that all being said, now it's time for the part of the show that we all know and love. What are you playing?
It always surprises me each and every time.
Each and every time.
I have played very little, actually. I have for the past week or so, I've been in Virginia for a playwriting festival.
Virginia.
Yes, southwestern Virginia, and I got to see one of my shows produced for full staged reading. Got to meet some other cool playwrights and do some edits, and just really dug my heels in on the whole theater major thing for a little while, and it was really nice. And there was a Sheets, and I got to have some Western Pennsylvania joy briefly.
There you go.
And but I will say, the day I was meant to leave, I was going to leave the house at like noon so I could get there early afternoon. No, I was going to leave in the morning or something, and I ended up playing like 2-3 hours of Hi-Fi Rush.
Okay,
so I got it's out a little later than I meant. I'm still really enjoying this game. I get around. Not as good, I think, as other people who might be more used to the, beat 'em up games that require those kind of button combinations and the rhythm and everything. But it's so damn fun to play that I don't mind taking that extra time and having a little extra concentration to do it. I'm definitely, I mean, this is if this doesn't end up in my games of the year list, it means that 2023 was an unprecedented year of riches when it comes to video games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just so solid all the way down. That's basically it for me. Kevin, what have you been playing?
I finished Pizza Tower.
Oh shit! How was that?
It's good. It's a good game. It's very much in the vein of Wario 4. It's a Wario-like. You play this guy. His name is Peppino. He has a pizza shop, and there's this dude, Mr. Pizza or Pizza Face. He builds a pizza tower, and he's gonna put Peppino out of business. And Peppino's like, I gotta deal with that. So you gotta fight your way up the tower with different levels, and the creativity in the levels is amazing. So you have a bunch of different. There's like 4 different floors that you have to work your way up, and there's a bunch of different levels per floor, like 4 levels per floor, except on the last one there's 3. And on the last one there's the creativity is off the charts in the last floor. Nice. You have a level where you are going through a haunted like Chuck E. Cheese with animatronics, and it's called Don't Make a Sound.
Love it.
And if you get if one of the security robots sees you, you get jump scared.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
But it's a wonderful, delightful game. It's dripping with character. The art style is amazing. It looks like it was created in Microsoft Paint, and it's amazing. It has that liquid television like style to it. Also, it reminds me a little bit of also old Adult Swim with things like home movies. 100%. It's a fun game. You could tell that this was a definite labor of love because of how much effort was put into it on every level. How much detail, I shouldn't say effort, but detail was put into it on every level.
Right.
A lot of games require a lot of effort, but it's the little details that you can when somebody is really loving or wanting to put out something that they love, where you notice it. So yeah, Pizza Tower. That's
fantastic.
That's what I was playing. I've also been playing what is it? Dead Island.
The original.
The original, the definitive.
The sequel's coming out soon.
The sequel is coming out soon, and it might be a bullet time episode. Yeah, I pitched it to to our friend Hot Cider, and because I know Jesse Garasha is a huge fan of Dead Island and Dying Light, and as am I, and we know that Dead Island 2 is coming out, so figured it might be a good time to pop that one on a calendar at some point.
I mean, that's from my memory of Dead Island. I mean, it's kind of the definition of what Bullet Time's about.
A shooter that missed its mark.
Yeah, seriously, 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Like, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to love about Dead Island, and I won't get into it now, but there's also a lot of stuff that not to love about Dead Island. So
who do you voodoo, bitch?
Who do you voodoo, bitch?
Yes.
Things that go bump in the nights. Yeah, it's me. Sam B.
It's been 10 years since I played that game, and that still pops into my head from time to time. It's
who do you voodoo, bitch?
What a ridiculous song. Good for them. Good for them.
It's an earworm that will last until the end of time, and it's got it's referenced in Dying Light 2. In the beginning of Dying Light 2, you're walking around exploring this house, and you find a vinyl record of Who Do You Voodoo.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny.
You can't play it, but it's there.
Right. That's probably for the best. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing. And
nice.
All that. And I also starting some other stuff on my Steam Deck. Okay. I randomly picked up Deliver Us to Mars.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know almost nothing about it other than I've heard good things, which is
Deliver Us Mars.
Deliver Us Mars. That's it.
Yeah, this looks fun.
Yeah, and so that's about it.
Nice.
So that'll bring us to the end of our episode tonight. If you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PixelitPod. We also have a TikTok, right? We have a
yes, we do.
TikTok, PixelitPod. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right.
I told you what happened on TikTok, right? I fired up my and
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, just dead animals apparently on my For You page.
Yeah, your algorithm's fucked, apparently.
I'm not coming back. Bye. But Phil runs the Pixelit Pod account on TikTok, so
Yeah. Get on there. Check out some clips. It's a big old clip show over there.
It's a big old clip show over there.
Yeah.
And our YouTube channel is almost at 100 subscribers. It actually might be at 100 subscribers by the time this episode comes out, but it's growing over there. So I'm happy to see that. Also, go to our website, pixelitpod.com. There you can join our Discord. You can join the mailing list and get episodes early. You can download the transcripts from episodes. They're automated, but that's as close as we're going to be able to get right now. And that'll do it for tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good evening.
Who do you voodoo, bitch?